The first day Ms. Irina Volkov stepped into Ridgeview High. The hallways buzzed in a way she immediately recognized, not from schools, but from the barracks, from the quiet tension that meant you were stepping into unfamiliar territory full of eyes evaluating you. Teenagers, she reminded herself, not enemies. Still, the feeling wasn't that different. She wore a simple cream blouse tucked into dark trousers, lightweight and easy to move in. Her posture was upright, confident, but not stiff. A few students stared at her with vague curiosity. Others, especially the group of older boys lounging against the lockers, watched with something sharper, interest mixed with mischief, the kind that sought out weakness. Irina didn't give them any reaction. She had stood under artillery fire with less tension than a hallway full of teenagers. She walked straight toward her classroom, her steps even, her breathing calm. As she passed the main group, 4 boys and a girl, she overheard the casual comment, muffled but deliberate. "Bet she won't last a week." The girl snickered. "A day, tops." She kept walking. In silence, she assessed them with a single glance. Kyle, broad-shouldered, trying too hard to look tough. Mason, wiry, quick-eyed, the one who planned things instead of doing them. Leo, constantly smirking, desperate for attention. Riker, quiet but dangerous because he followed the others without question. And Tessa, the queen bee who didn't push physically but pulled psychological strings. A pack. She'd handled worse. Still, she wasn't here to confront anyone, not yet. She was here to teach literature, of all things. People always reacted with disbelief when they saw her resume, decorated Special Forces operative turned English teacher. But Irina had lived 2 lives already. She could live a third if she chose. The morning passed smoothly. She taught her first class, introduced herself calmly, answered questions, and gently shut down any attempts to test her patience. No yelling, no theatrics. She simply stood still and looked directly at the student until they quieted. Something in her silence intimidated them more than any raised voice could. Yet trouble was always patient. It waited until lunch. Irina had gone up to the rooftop for air, not out of distraction, but habit. Soldiers always scanned their environment from high ground. She didn't like feeling boxed in by walls. The school rooftop was surprisingly bright and open, the November sun sharp but not scorching. A few potted plants stood in a corner, and the concrete still held warmth from the morning's sun. She closed her eyes for a second. Just a second. The sound of the rooftop door opening didn't escape her. Nor did the whispers, the light footsteps, the false confidence in their laugh. She didn't turn. She let them come closer. She recognized their voices even before she glanced over her shoulder. Kyle stepped forward first, hands in pockets. "Didn't think teachers were allowed up here." Irina gave him a calm look. "Neither are students." Kyle grinned wider. "We're not exactly rule followers." "I gathered," she replied. The group fanned out behind him. Tessa leaned against a vent pipe with theatrical boredom. Mason held his phone as if already recording. Leo bounced on his heels, restless energy radiating off him. Riker stood silent, eyes flickering. Irina's instincts sharpened, but she kept her stance relaxed. "What do you want?" she asked. Mason laughed. "Just a welcome chat. You know, new teacher orientation." Leo added, "This school eats newbies alive. We're doing you a favor." Irina said nothing. She kept her breathing slow, allowing them to hang themselves with their own words. Kyle stepped closer, too close. "We heard you're ex-military." Irina didn't blink. And that's pretty badass," Leo said quickly, as if trying to impress her. "But this is high school. Different battlefield." "Noted," she said simply. Something in her lack of fear agitated Kyle. He wanted a reaction. Bullies always did. "You don't talk much, do you?" he said, leaning in. "I talk when it's necessary." Kyle's jaw ticked. "What if I make it necessary?" Before she could answer, Tessa chimed in with a sharp, mocking voice. "Kyle, just do it already." Leo's laughter stuttered. "Wait, are we?" But Kyle had already reached out. A shove, not hard, but sudden. Irina moved the moment she felt his intention. She didn't resist the push, she redirected her weight, letting her body shift the way she had practiced countless times during airborne training. Her foot slipped deliberately near the ledge, a controlled slide, not a true fall. The rooftop's edge rushed beneath her feet. The drop was 3 stories. Kyle's face blanched. Leo paled. Riker swore quietly. Mason's phone nearly slipped from his hand. For a millisecond, they thought they had killed her. But Irina's body reacted before fear had a chance to touch hers. She twisted mid-motion, pivoting on the ball of her left foot, letting her center of gravity pull inward instead of outward. Her right hand brushed the guardrail, not grabbing, just reorienting. She dropped low, knees bent, absorbing the movement with perfect precision. She landed on the rooftop floor, not even a meter from the edge. Her breath was steady. Their breaths were not. For the first time all day, Irina stood up fully and let them see the steel in her eyes. Kyle stepped back automatically. What? How? Mason stammered. She walked toward them, slow, deliberate. No anger on her face. No fear. Only control. Let me make something clear, she said softly, but her voice carried across the rooftop. You don't know who you're playing with. You don't know what I've survived. And if you think pushing someone off a roof is a harmless joke, you are grossly unprepared for real life. Her tone wasn't threatening. That made it more terrifying. Tessa swallowed. We didn't mean. Irina raised a hand. Not to strike, just to silence. I'm not here to punish you, she said. I'm here to teach. But understand this, I have dealt with people far more dangerous than any of you. And I'm still standing. Leo looked like he wanted to apologize. Mason looked like he wanted to flee. Kyle looked furious, but afraid, the worst combination. Irina stepped back, giving them space. You still have time to decide who you want to be, she said. Choose wisely. The rooftop was bright, warm, quiet. The silence wasn't victory. It was realization. And for the first time, the bullies didn't feel like predators. They felt like children who had just glimpsed what real strength looked like.